سارة، صار عندي حادث سيارة واتصلت بالمحامي كاجي.
قصدين أنتي المحامي كاجي؟
يعني هذا المكتب اللي قالوا عليه أكبر مكتب محاماة عربي كلداني بأمريكا، كاجي؟
لا أنا محامي بالكاجي لا. أنا أعرف لورنس، هو قال لي كاجي لا.
أنا أعرف العائلة زين، يقولوها قاجي.
بعد أي حادث سيارة اتصلوا بيا، أنا محامي لورنس قاجي. 248-702-6641 248-702-6641.
أعزائي المستمعين، أهلا وسهلا بكم في برنامج جديد للمحامي لورنس قاجي. ونقول لكم قبل كل شيء نقول Happy New Year Mr. قاجي.
Happy New Year, Sahar. Thank you so much for having us. It was a great year with you, and I hope to have another great year with you as well.
إن شاء الله. وطبعا Happy New Year, Mr. John.
Happy New Year. Thank you so much for having us back.
And
it's wonderful.
Welcome in your program.
well, thank you.
العزيزة الغالية تمارا، أهلا وسهلا بيك طبعا، وهابي نيو يير.
هابي نيو يير، كل عام والكل بخير إن شاء الله. سنة صحة وعافية وتحقيق للزين
اللي الشك واحد يفكر به المفروض يصير 24
للزين.
24. Yes. So you gotta be careful now. Tomorrow is very popular now. Just so you know, very popular now with everyone.
It was secret, now it's not. طبعا مستمعينا الحلوين، مشاهدينا الاعزاء، برنامجنا اليوم اللي راح نتحدث به شغلات شنو الشيء اللي لازم تسويه او اشياء الزينه اللي تسويها حتى يكون الكيس مالتك احسن. هو هذا السؤال اليوم اللي نحب انه نتحدث عنه دائما. احنا كنا وياكم حلقات كثيره تحدثنا عن كل الاشياء، وحتى هذا الموضوع احنا فاتحيه سابقا، لكن اليوم ان شاء الله نحكي بتفاصيل.
نعم.
Details.
Yes.
Go ahead.
That's good. Happy New Year, everybody. Today our topic, the most important topic for every case we have, is how we make a case good, look better, and goes in the right way without hiccups.
Yes. How can we make a good case better? Yeah. Exactly.
Yes.
So, why are we even talking about this, right? The reason is whenever you have a case, the insurance company is always going to try to downplay that, right? Mm-hmm. Downplay your injuries, downplay your medical bills, downplay pretty much everything in the case. So we're going to go over certain things today that we see insurance companies argue to downplay the value of a case, and that we can try to get a head start on so it doesn't affect the value of our case, right, John?
Yeah, and I've had a ton of clients who call me up and say, I have a really good case. And I'm glad you have a good case. I'm happy that you have a good case, but we want to make it even better.
Yeah.
So
دائما الزبون يجي لو يخابرنا ويقول أنا قضيتي زينة. هي صح زينة، بس احنا نريد نسويها بعد احسن.
طبعا.
ليش هذا احنا اليوم بدنا نحكي بهذا الموضوع.
نعم.
هذا الموضوع جدا مهم. صح، هي اشياء بسيطه بس كلش لها اثر كبير للقضيه. لانه الانشورنس دائما تحاول تقلل وتضعف وتسوي القضيه ركيكه، تدور على الاشياء السلبيه طبعا كلها،
حتى شيء سلبي
بالضبط.
نعم.
فاحنا نحاول نسد كل هاي الثغرات، وكل شيء صغير ننميه ونسويه اكبر.
And this all comes from experience, right? We have experience on what the insurance companies argue in cases, so we try to prevent that. That's really all it is. We've seen what they argue to try to get our value down, and we know not to fall for those things.
Yeah, and what they just are looking at when they're evaluating a case in general too.
من يشوفون القضية الانشورنس ويريدون يحطون فد رقم معين على القضية، يشوفون كل الأشياء السلبية. فإحنا يجي موقفنا بأنه إحنا كل الثغرات وكل الأشياء السلبية تكون هي كلها مسدودة، وما نوقع بالخطأ اللي هم يريدون نوقع به الانشورنس.
أوكي. قبل ما تكملين، اي واحد عنده اي سؤال، اذا عنده اي سؤال استفسار خليه يتصل بينا على 586-825-2015 586-825-2015. اي واحد عنده سؤال. وهسه احنا عندنا هذا موضوعنا اللي نحكي به، لكن اريد اسال المحامي لورنس سؤال.
Oh, and we should also mention to the listeners, if they have any cases, if they have any experiences that they want to call about and share with us, or if they have any questions, call anytime. You know, we're happy to answer.
اوكي. طبعا اي مستمع او اي مشاهد على الفيسبوك اذا عنده اي سؤال او عنده اي استفسار او عنده قصه ايجابيه او سلبيه ويحب يعني يتشارك ويانا، خليه يتصل بينا على الاذاعه
586-825-2015.
شيء اخر همينه سنة جديدة ونظل احنا نقول المكتب الاستشارة مجانية، دائما استشارتنا مجانية. عندكم اي سؤال اي استفسار، مو بس حوادث سيارات، اي قضية يتصلوا بنا بالمكتب. رقم المكتب هو 248-702-6641.
I have a question.
Yes.
How was your 2023?
In terms
the
of
last
what?
days.
Yeah.
In general, all the year.
In terms of what? Work, family,
everything.
I mean,
You had a good year.
Yeah, I had a great year. So I had my third baby girl.
This is one.
Yeah. We continuously grew the office. We're the biggest that we've ever been.
In 2023.
In terms of staff, in terms of cases,
Yes.
in terms of settlements.
Mm-hmm.
In terms of speaking Arabic in
terms of the number of people we had that speak Arabic in our office as well.
That's great.
Yes.
Chaldean.
Yes.
You have to.
as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I don't really have many hobbies outside of work and my family.
Yes.
So I can tell you both went very well for me in 2023. And, obviously it's a lot of work. My work also having 3 little girls, all under 4. Is a lot of work as well. So it kind of takes up my year, I guess, so to say.
It was your year.
Yeah.
Your year.
Yeah.
Do you want to translate it?
Yes. محامي لورنس كان عنده سنة 2023 سنة جدا ناجحة. أولا لأنه صار عنده بنته الثالثة.
هاي واحدة.
بالنطاق العائلي. بالنطاق العملي. احنا واحدة من أكبر المكاتب بميشيغان، واللي يتكلمون اللغة العربية والكلدانية بالولايات المتحدة. وده نكبر. Everything is going well.
Yeah, I think we settled around $15 million this year.
That's great.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Okay. What about you?
It was very good. Very good. I have an 8-year-old. She turned 8 just this last September, and she is a brilliant girl. She's doing fantastic in school, and she's the light of my life. So, she had a fantastic year, and if she has a fantastic year, then I have a fantastic year. So, very good.
What about you?
It was
a lot of trouble.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Fortunately, my family is overseas a little bit. That's why I have to travel.
Yes.
السنة كانت جدا ناجحة. نطاق العمل طبعا الحمد لله مرتاحة. وكل شيء ماشي زين و working harder even. Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's good because I cannot sit. I cannot sit.
You can't sit.
No, I have to.
Why you are sitting now?
Well, I'm working. I'm sitting, but I'm working. And sometimes I think
you mean you can't be idle?
Yeah.
Right.
Idle. There you go.
You didn't translate what he said.
I will. And as a family, thank God, I have 3 beautiful boys.
Yes.
Great boys, honestly.
Yes.
Great boys.
Of course, they are older. I'm not going to say ages because then it looks I'm so old. I'm not going to say their ages, بس الحمد لله كلهم تخرجوا وكلهم دا يشتغلون، وإن شاء الله هالسنة شوي نتطور أكثر، إذا نشوف حلقة لو فد شيء إن شاء الله.
ان شاء الله يا رب.
Yeah.
ان شاء الله.
Yes.
ما ترجمتي مالته؟
For جان عنده بنت عمرها 8 سنين، حلوة شاطرة
مثلها
مؤدبة، كلش ذكية كلش ذكية.
نعم.
ومثل ما هو قال مدام هي كانت سعيدة أنا سعيد.
I'm happy.
Okay, what about you?
It was wonderful here.
Let me
guys.
let me guess the best thing that happened in 2023.
How many kids I have? I have 4.
ما شاء الله.
2 boys, 2 girls. All are married.
And grandchildren.
I have 9 grandkids.
Wow. Yeah.
ما شاء الله.
The oldest one is 18 years old.
Wow.
Ooh,
Yes.
wow.
She will go to college next year.
Wow.
That's exciting.
The youngest one is 4 years old from my son. And I'm happy with my family.
Awesome.
That's great.
Very great. You don't look like
I love my business. I love what I do. I have been like, this is the 26th year in a radio station.
Congratulations.
I used to have TV before, magazine, newspaper.
Same business.
Same business, yeah. And this is what I can say. I can't say more,
but
I'm happy.
The best thing you did in 2023 was get us on the radio, right? Is that true?
Yes, you are right. You know, serious. I love you guys.
I love you too. It's mutual.
You were wonderful people, and I met you, Mr. John and Tamara. You are our family now.
Yeah. Feel the same way.
احنا طلعنا
really wonderful.
طلعنا مستمعينا لأنه لازم نحكي.
The first time we met after the new year, so it's okay to go over this.
أول مرة طبعا صح. We will continue what we begin at the beginning of the program.
Yes.
Yeah, how to make your case better.
Yes.
Yes. شلون نسوي
Sorry.
القضية مالتك.
That's good.
هي زينة وبتسويها بعد أحسن.
نعم.
So a lot of this stuff has to do with kind of what happens at the very beginning of a case. And obviously, after an accident, your adrenaline's rushing and mostly not really thinking the best way, right? I mean,
absolutely.
Things are going, you might be hurt. You might not know you're hurt at the time.
You might be worried about your car more than yourself.
So obviously everything that we're going to go over.
This is the first time you don't know what to do.
Exactly. So everything we're going to go over, obviously, we're hoping that, God forbid you get into a car accident, you remember these things. But obviously it's going to be hard for you to remember everything that we're talking about. Actually, tomorrow, I don't think we ever mentioned to the listeners about our document holder.
No.
Yeah. So we actually have a document holder that we pass out to all of our clients.
Yes.
Where you put your insurance information, anything that you want to keep in the car, right? Your registration, insurance, all that good stuff. And it's little. It's a handheld folder.
Yes.
And on the back of it, it tells you exactly what to do after a car accident. So there's 4 steps.
You have it?
I have it.
Or
yes.
You give it to everybody?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
And inside, if you open it, on one side, you put your car vehicle documents, registration, insurance. On the other side...
Writing or...
No, the actual paper, registration, paper, insurance.
Yes.
On the other side of it is what our recommended policy limits are. So when you go to your insurance agent, on that side, I have my personal suggestions about how much coverage you should purchase and what kind of coverage you should purchase.
Okay. احنا فد شغله بعدنا ما حاكين بيها. فد شيء جديد مسوينا فد كتيب صغير. هو مو كتيب، هو مثل فولد ولا لا مو بامفلت، هو مثل الجزدان. اوكي، محفظه صغيره بيها تقدر تحط بيها الاوراق مال السياره، مثلا الانشورنس والريجستريشن مال السياره، واللي ورا اكو احنا حاطين بيها ورقه شو تسوي وشنو الاشياء اللي لازم تسويها ورا الحادث مباشره
اول ما يصير
نعم. لان اول ما يجيك الشرطي راح يطلب من عندك الانشورنس والريجستريشن مال السياره
طلع.
صح هي هاي وياها وهم بيها يعني معلومات شلون تقدر تختار الانشورنس مالتك. اوكي اي واحد يعجبه يتفضل للمكتب او يتصل بينا بالمكتب، واذا يحب وحده نقدر ندزل هي او يجي ياخذها يعني موجوده.
نخلي قسم هنا
بالاذاعه هم انا موجوده للجاليه اللي هنا هم حتى بالضبط حتى يجون ياخذوها. هذا فشي جديد كلش مفيد وحلو ولونه احمر فمن تحطه بالسياره يبين لونه ويعني واضح يكون.
And that's exactly right. The reason why we put them together is because if you're involved in a car accident, obviously the police officer is going to ask you for your insurance information.
Yes.
You'll see on the other side of it the 4-step process and what to do after a car accident, and that way it'll remind you of what to do.
I think this will help.
Yeah, I mean, I think so.
Yeah.
مثل ما تفضل المحامي قال بانه هاي همينه مثل اول شيء الشرطي راح يجي يسال يقول لك وين الانشورنس مالتك
صحيح.
بس تطلعه لي ورا الكارت الموجود به يقول لك شنو الخطوات اللي اولا ثانيا ثالثا رابعا لازم
كلش حلوه
كلش.
So whoever wants one, feel free to stop by. We're located on 9 in Southfield, 18,000 West 9 Mile. Come stop by. We'll give you one for free.
That's good.
Yes.
That's good.
$9.99 value for free.
Sure.
Maybe $100,000 value for free.
You know those things weren't cheap actually. But we are giving them out for free.
If you open it, you will see another gift in it.
Actually when you are in من يصير عندك حادث سيارة هاي صح هي صغيرة بس تكون أغلى شيء عندك ذيك اللحظة صح.
والله يبعدنا يعني.
Of course God forbid, but in that situation when you are in a car accident and you don't know what to do, that comes the most important folder in that moment.
Yeah. So the first thing that it says is quote unquote get out of harm's way.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get out of the way. Don't get yourself hurt waiting, waiting for the police to arrive. And then, honestly, unfortunately, I've had cases where an accident happens. They're waiting on the side of the road or, close to the side of the road. And then another accident happens while they're waiting.
Yes.
So first thing, get out of harm's way.
Yes. أول شيء مكتوب بهاي الورقة بأنه ابتعد عن مكان الخطر. لأنه مرات توقف سيارة مكانها خطر لا تبقى قاعد لو أنت بيها لأنه وصايرة عندنا هواية هيك حوادث هو صار بحادث ينزل دا ينتظر
تجي سيارة
ضربة بالضبط
صح.
فأول شيء يعني اخلي روحك من مكان الخطر.
So move yourself. Move your car. If the car is not drivable, just get out of the way.
هاي أولاً.
هذه يعني فعلا
جدا مهمة.
جدا مهمة لأنه
هواية
مستمعينا الأكارم مشاهدينا صارت حوادث a lot of accidents بالنسبة له يجي يعني وقف الشرطي أو تعطل سيارته
صح
يوقف ينزل من السيارة هو ينزل
سيارة
ضربة
صايرة وعندنا هيك حالات
صايرة. خلينا نكمل هاي وبالأخير راح نحكي شوية حكايات عن القضايا اللي صايرة عندكم الحلوة أو يعني طبعا تصير مواقف تصير مواقف ب 23 صارت عندكم عدة مواقف. آخر موقف جولك اثنين إيش قالوا لك؟
قالوا لي تمارا وأخيرا شفناك.
Yeah. No, actually, I have a good story to share at the end of the program.
This is what
very nice story. So the second thing on that list is to call the police. Right, we need to make a police report. Some insurance policies actually require you to make a police report to collect certain coverage. So I'll let John get into that a little bit, but outside of the notice and other insurance provisions, right, you also get a lot of good information on that police report, right?
Yeah. So there's a bunch of things that goes on the police report, and both insurance companies and attorneys utilize that information extensively. It's important to not only call the police so that they can look at the scene, right, and write a report about what they've seen, but they also collect valuable information. They collect, not only where you're at, And, when you're driving, sometimes generally where you're at, but they're going to put, the exact intersection typically. They're going to collect insurance information. They're going to collect VIN numbers. They're going to collect license plate numbers. These are all things that can be used to identify parties that are in an accident. And, there are many cases we've seen, right, Lawrence, where, they say they were hit by somebody. There was no information exchanged. And, it's a lot harder to go after or even investigate a case where there is no police report that's ever made.
And most of the time, we usually don't find who the other driver was, right? Because
it's much tougher.
It's a lot harder to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, I
okay.
yes. ثاني شيء ورا ما نقول بأنه أنت لازم تخلي روحك من مكان الخطر.
نعم.
ثاني شيء أهم واللي هم جدا مهم بأنه تتصل بالشرطة. جدا مهم. قسم من الانشورنسز تطلب خلال 24 ساعة أنت مسوي تقرير بالشرطة مال الشرطة. الشرطة من تجي مو بس حتى تشوف شلون صار الحادث ومنو الغلطان لو شيء، بس تاخذ معلومات حتى نعرف شنو هي المعلومات. هي لأن هاي المعلومات كلها راح تنحط على التقرير مال الشرطة. مثلا الفن رقم الفن مال السيارة، اللايسنس بليت مالتها، شنو نوع الانشورنس إذا عنده، لو ما عنده الاسم اللي كان موجود،
شهود أيضا
إذا أكو شهود. مرات هم يجون هم لابسين كاميرات وملابسين سماعات ونقدر نطلبها ونشوفها همينة. هواية شغلات. نعم الشرطة.
Now, and more than that too, not only is it a good idea just in general, many insurance policies, especially those that contain what's called an uninsured or underinsured motorist provision, actually require the filing of a police report. Okay, if you don't do so, and sometimes within 24 hours, you may not be able to get all the benefits that you're paying for out of that insurance policy. So, I mean, if you think about that, you're paying all these premiums every month, right?
Yes.
Everyone who has a car is required to purchase insurance. You're paying every single month. And then you don't do a police report, and all of a sudden you just lost out on all those premiums, or at least a portion of those premiums that you've been paying for all those months and months. I mean, these are benefits you pay for. Don't lose them by not filing a police report or calling the police to the scene,
إن شاء الله الأخ يهمنا إذا مثلا واحد ضربك وانهزم، كل الصعبة نجيب هذا الشخص ما نعرفه منه. وأنت كل شهر تدفع مصاريف على الانشورنس مالتك حتى تغطي الهيك أو يعني مشاكل. ومن أكو وهذا اللي يسموه بأنه إذا أحد ضربك وانهزم لك حق ترجع على الانشورنس مالتك على فشي اسمه إذا أحد ضربك وهو ماكو انشورنس تقدر ترجع على الانشورنس مالتك وتاخذ تغطية للعطل وضرر. هواية من الانشورنس كومبانيز تريد تقرير شرطة خلال 24 ساعة. حتى هذا يكون يعني حتى يقدرون يستعملون هاي الفقرة. إذا ما تسويها خلال 24 ساعة يلغون هاي الفقرة، معناته أنت دا تدفع لا شيء،
يعني بلاش،
مو بلاش، ما تستفاد بالضبط، تخسر. فأحسن شيء بأنه أنت رأسا تسوي تقرير شرطة.
586-825-2015 586-825-2015. أي واحد عنده قضية، عنده مشكلة، عنده أكو كثير من الناس يعني حتى لو عنده سؤال ما يخابر يستحي، لكن نعطيكم رقم تليفون المكتب اللي هو 248-702-6641. تقدرون تخابرون بعد انتهاء البرنامج أو خلال البرنامج. تقدرون أيضا تخابرون
على الفيسبوك، يقدرون
يكتبون على الفيسبوك. يعني هواية عندكم طرق أنه في سبيل أنه توصلون سؤالكم لمكتب المحامي لورنس قاجي، وعندهم ما شاء الله أولا استشارة مجانية، ثانيا عندهم الستاف يتكلمون الإنجليزية العربية الكلدانية، يعني يخدموكم بكل النواحي وما يأخذون من عندكم أي penny إلا تخلص القضية. Right?
Yes. So just the last point on this, the topic for today is how to make your case better, right? Not worse. A lot of times, if there's no police report made at the scene, or if there's no police report made for a little while, the insurance companies will ask, why wasn't a police report made? And then that will probably decrease the value of your case, and a lot of questions come about, did this accident actually happen? Why did you make the police report 2 weeks later? Are you doing it just to make a claim? That sort of thing.
Yep.
Get it over with. Just call the police, make it at the scene.
Yeah. And if for some reason the police can't make it to the scene, you should still go in and file a police report. And we're our next subject is going to explain what you'll probably want to take. But go ahead.
إذا الشرطة ما قدرت تجي للمكان الحادث لأي سبب أو آخر يعني نطلب بأنه أنت تروح للشرطة. أنت رأسا روح للشرطة. روح للشرطة سوي التقرير مالتك حتى تاخذه. وراح نحكي بعد بالتفاصيل لأنه أكو أشياء جدا مهمة بعد.
أوكي إذا راح واحد
No, go ahead. I have a.
إذا واحد راح للشرطة يودي وياه المستمسكات هذه مثلا الصور.
راح نحكي هسه لازم ياخذ واحد.
Yeah.
I was just going to say, and there's another thing. I've heard this before. People tell me, "Oh, the police won't take my report." No, they're required to allow you to file a police report. Okay, they have to take the report. Do not let the police tell you, "Oh no, we're not going to take your report. We're too busy." You got to get it. It
happens sometimes.
I mean, you'd be surprised. I hear this over and over. Oh, I tried to go to the police station. They said, "Oh, come back another day," or "Oh, go to a different police station." No, just what? If you encounter that, call us, and I'll yell at them for you. That kind of thing.
هواية لأنه مرات يتعطلون ما يروحون رأسا، فمن يروحون للشرطة مرات الشرطة هم يقولون الشرطة لو قالوا ما نقدر نسوي لو مثلا روح الغير مكتب مال شرطة لو تعال غير وقت، وهذا كله ياخذ وقت وهذا كله مو من صالحك.
الشخص.
Yeah. So let's say the police don't come or they take a long time.
Yeah.
For whatever reason, you don't end up making a police report at the scene.
Right. Or you have to go to the hospital.
Yeah. Or you have to go to the hospital. Right. Like John said, go into the police precinct and or department and make a police report there. Right. So John, what would you need to make a police report?
That's a great question. And this leads right into the next thing.
What should you bring?
Right. So if at all possible, optimally, what you're going to want to do is get insurance information from each party. You're going to want to take pictures of the license plate on the vehicles. You're going to want to take pictures of the damage. You're going to want to take pictures of the surrounding area. In other words, you're going to want to gather evidence that is there at the scene, right? So it's shockingly common that people, and I understand why, because they're a little bit in shock as far as what just happened when they've been hit in an accident, right? And a lot of people are injured. But if you can get anyone, even if it's not yourself, to come to the scene and just start getting pictures or videos of everything, that will be, I mean, a picture is worth 1,000 words, and videos can be worth tens of thousands. Okay.
All right.
And I'll have more, but I'll let you translate.
Yes. من واحد يريد يروح مثلا إذا الشرطة ما قدرت تجي، وطبعا هذا كله احنا نقول إذا سمحت لك الظروف، إذا قدرت بأنه أولا تأخذ المعلومات بين الطرفين. أوكي. تأخذ صورة للسيارة اللي ضربتك مالت اللايسنس بليت، تأخذ صور للأضرار، تأخذ صور للمكان الحادث كشكل عام، لأنه مرات الصور أكثر من الصورة تحكي أكثر من واحد يفسرها.
And I want to give a specific example from my own life. So I was on the freeway coming home from work one day, and I was just in my regular 4-door car. Okay, nothing special. It was rush hour traffic, and my car stopped. I was stopped in traffic. It was completely, bumper to bumper, because it was rush hour, and I was on the freeway. Unfortunately, there was a vehicle behind me. It was actually a semi-truck that decided he was not going to stop, and he ran into the back of my vehicle, completely totaling my vehicle, smashing in the rear window. Glass went everywhere. It was not fun. Now,
and he hurt you.
Yeah, I was not feeling great. I'm going to say that, but in the moment, I was actually able to gather myself, and I got out of my vehicle, and the very first thing I did was I walked around to the back of that truck, and I took a picture of the truck.
right away.
Okay, because in case he decided to leave,
Yeah.
okay, I wanted to know who he was. So I got to the back of the truck. I took a picture. Then I took a picture of the side of that truck. Then I took a picture of the front of the truck where he hit me. Then I took a picture of my car. Three different angles. Now I did not go onto the freeway itself to take these pictures. So I didn't get it from the freeway side because I did not want to get hit again, right? Because the number one thing on your card is stay safe. Okay.
Yeah.
So we were on the right side of the freeway here. I did not go to the left side and start wandering into traffic to get hit. I didn't want to do that. But I did get as many pictures as I could from the angles that I could. Then I went up to the truck driver and I asked him for his license and his registration and his insurance. He didn't give me all those.
He didn't?
He did not. But I'd called the police. I forgot to mention I already called the police before I got on my car. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
And so I did get a picture of his ID. He gave me his ID.
He gave you?
He gave me his ID only.
His ID.
But that was good. It was a driver's license,
Yes.
you know. And with that information that I'd gathered between the plate on the truck, the damage on the vehicle, the scene itself, the damage on my vehicle, and his license, even if the police never showed up,
You are on the safe side.
I would have been able to go to the police station and they would have been able to make a report with that information.
Yeah.
And from that information, we could then gather the insurance information and whatever else we would have needed.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I didn't have to worry about that. In this case, he stayed at the scene. He didn't take off. The police came. They made a report. You know, great. But I'm going to tell you this, and you never know when this stuff comes up. About 4 years later, I had switched insurance companies. At the time, I think I was with, I believe it was Progressive, and I'd switched from Progressive to AAA. And AAA sent me a message saying, hey, we just found out you were in an accident 4 years ago, which they knew about, by the way. Okay. And it was reported as not at fault, but we think you were at fault. So what I did,
You were at fault.
they said I was at fault.
Yes.
But I said, no, you have it wrong. I was not at fault. And so what I did was I went back and I found the pictures from 4 years prior, sent them the pictures and said,
you have them all.
yep, I saved them all
You
and
said-
I sent them in.
Yeah.
And I said, nope, here's the pictures of the scene, of the damage. As you can see,
And
all the
he
damage,
hit me.
all the damage on that truck is on the front and all the damage on my vehicle is in the back. I was not at fault. And they changed their
Well,
mind.
this is good
Was
story.
it a subrogation issue, or why are they calling so many years later?
Because for some reason, their underwriting department, for no idea why, thought that they were not charging me enough because clearly I wasn't paying enough insurance premium for them.
Okay.
So anyway, my point is,
See, that's a lawyer question.
yeah,
Why they called you 4 years later?
Yeah.
that's a great question.
It happens in subrogation, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if the UM gets paid out, and then they go
Yes.
after that fault driver who
No.
didn't have insurance
In
or
this-
has little insurance.
Yeah, in
right?
this
That's
in
what
this
I'm-
case, they said their underwriting had flagged that accident because it was with a different insurance
Okay.
company.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
Translated.
راح اترجمها
ترجمة بس سريع
مختصر.
بس سريع.
No. Every detail. I'm
No,
kidding.
no.
He understood what I'm going to say.
I know what you're saying. I know.
المحامي جان قبل
4 سنين.
4 سنين صار عنده حادث سيارة. كان على الهاي واي همين استحام راجع من الشغل.
تعبان.
لا هو دا يمشي واستحام فوقف الورا هو كان
سمترا.
اي لوري
لوري.
اي ما قبل ما وقف ضربه ضربه قويه بحيث السياره راحت
Total
كلها
damage.
بالضبط. نحن نقول راحت بالزباله.
راحت بالزبالة.
اي اول شيء اتصل بالشرطه حتى يقول لهم بانه وين كان موقفه وشنو اللي لازم يسويه.
نعم.
نزل من السياره اخذ اول شيء راح
اليمين.
لا راح بالضبط عكس وين السيارات حتى للامان مالته. مشى راح ورا السياره اللي دعمته اخذ صوره لمالتها الرقم اخذ الصور للحادث كلها واجت بوقتها بقى منهزم ابو التراك. اخذ همينه مالته الاجازه. هذه اذا الشرطه ما كانت جايه هاي كافيه بانه تقدر تروح تسوي تقرير شرطه وتقدر تطلع كل المعلومات المطلوبه للقضيه.
نعم.
من هاي الاشياء اللي سواها
واحتفظ بها.
بالضبط. هو كتابنا كتابكم خلص، كان عنده انشورنس غير غير انشورنس. الانشورنس الجديد مالته ورا 4 سنين اتصلت به قالت له انت بهذا الحادث انت كنت غلطان مو هو. هو ضام الاشياء مالته ورا 4 سنين، طلع لهم الصور، دزلهم اياه، قال لهم انا ما كنت غلطان انتم غلطانين. ليش سووا هالشيء؟ هم كانوا يعتقدون بانه اذا هو غلطان كان لازم يدفع اكثر انشورنس، فهم عبالهم هو يدفع اقل. بس لذلك احنا دائما انا اقول اكو هوايه ناس تجيهم اوراق يقول اوه ذبيتها بالزبل. لا تذبون اي شيء بالزبل،
كلها مهمه،
كل شيء مهم.
نعم
احتفظوا بيها.
يجي وقتها.
Now, there's a couple things that I haven't quite mentioned yet, which is the videos, right? I mentioned videos briefly, but the video, all the idea is a lot of people essentially are using videos as pictures, right? They just walk around their vehicle and show the damage, and that's fine. But I will caution people on one thing. A lot of the times when you're recording video, unlike pictures, remember that it records sound. So if you're swearing at the top of your lungs in this video, not to say that that's surprising, but it doesn't really make you look a whole lot better if you're swearing at the top of your lungs while you're canvassing your vehicle. So I would keep your conversation that you're recording to a minimum unless there's a specific reason you're doing it.
احنا دائما قلنا الفيديو هم مهم، بس دير بالكم من تسوون الفيديو. واحد يكون عصبي ساعة الساعة من صار يحكي يغلط، وهاي الاشياء كلها سلبيات بالضبط للقضيه. فواحد يدير باله من يصور، خلي يكون شويه يدير باله.
John, you missed the most important part.
Oh, I haven't finished, but keep going.
Don't admit fault in that video either.
Well, and that's what I was about to say, because anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law.
Yes. اي شيء تقوله يقدرون يستعملوا ضدك، فدير ما تعرف انت ايش راح تقول بذيك اللحظه وما تتذكر.
انت فاقد.
بالضبط.
Yeah.
So
I told John the most important part. Don't say in the video that I was at fault for the accident.
I know that.
Yeah. Yeah.
We don't want
And then the other thing for videos, sometimes if there are witnesses around, they may take pictures. There may be videos. This is something I can't stress enough. If you think that there's a business or you think there's a person, okay, who has a video or a picture, get it right then and there, or have one of your family members get it immediately. Those things disappear so fast. You have no idea. So.
Also, sorry to cut you off.
Please.
But also, we, whenever there's a witness to the accident, you should get their information too.
That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Just in case they leave before the police come, because the witness information will go on the police report. But let's say they leave.
Well, once they're gone, they're gone. You don't know who they are.
And it could be a key witness. The other driver could say that you were at fault, and that witness can tell you the truth. And it makes a huge difference when you're in court and you have a witness that says how the accident happened when there's two disputed stories, I guess.
الشغله المهمه همينه جدا بانه اذا تاخذ اذا صار الحادث وتعرف اكو مدايرك محل او اي احد واقف اخذ فيديو لو صور، اذا انت تقدر بحاله صح يعني ذيك اللحظة إذا تقدر
وضعك زين
بالضبط بأنه تقدر تروح تاخذه مباشرة، لأنه هذول الفيديوهات والناس رأسا يروحون بعد ما تلقاهم بالضبط. لو تسأل الأهل من أهلك بأنه إذا يقدرون يروحون يسألون. الشغلة اللي أخي همنا بأنه إذا أنت عندك مثلا what was it?
When there's two competing.
إذا عندك شهود، إذا تأخذ أساميهم، مرات الشهود همينة مثلا هو شاهد بس عنده شغل يريد يروح، أخذ اسمه، أخذ عنوانه قبل ما تجي الشرطة، خاصة إذا أكو مثلا الطرف الآخر يقول لا أنت غلطان مو أنا غلطان. هذا الشاهد جدا مهم يكون.
And I have a real specific example where this can come up, and has in cases I've seen. Let's say that there's two cars. Right, one's merging and doesn't see the other car, right?
Yeah.
Well, that merging car is at fault. You have to wait until the lane is clear.
Yeah.
But what if the other driver says, no, I wasn't merging. He was merging.
Yeah.
Right?
How he can prove.
Each person says the other one's merging. It's very hard to know exactly who was doing what in that situation unless you have some kind of evidence. And photographs could help, videos could help. But if you've got a witness who says, I saw the guy,
it's better,
and he merged into you, I was right there behind you, that is going to be really good evidence. That can
I actually
be
had
used.
the same exact situation actually go to trial, and that
Yeah.
witness was, I mean, he was the key
Absolutely.
person in the whole trial.
مثال جدا بسيط. انت تمشي بالليل مالتك وتجي السياره تريد هم تجي بالليل مالتك، ما شافتك فكسر عليك، صح؟ هو شي يقول لا انا كنت امشي هو كسر علي. فهنا يجي الشاهد، اذا اكو شاهد هذا، لانه هاي كل الصعبه بانه تثبت منو كان دا يريد يغير الاتجاه مالته. واحده من القضايا اللي عندنا اللي صعدت للمحكمه العليا اللي حلها هو بس الشاهد.
Oh, we have a caller. Wonderful.
صوت الغد، تفضلوا.
هلو، مرحبا.
مرحبا عيني.
لو سمحت بس عندي سؤال للمحامي إذا ما يصير زحمة.
تفضلي.
اوكي، انا صار عندي كار اكسيدنت، هاي صار لها مده 2 سنين، وانا كل شيء يعني نظامي، سويت ريبورت للشرطه وحتى عندي محامي، بس ما ادري ايش قد يتطول معامله كار اكسيدنت. هاي صار 2 سنين وبعد يعني كل شيء ماكو. ومحامي مالتي من اساله دا يقول لي همنا يراد له وقت وشهر بس ما ينطيني اخر الجواب. فبرايك يعني ايش قد يتطول؟
ابقي ويانا عزيزتي، ابقي ويانا، ابقي.
اوكي.
اوكي.
اوكي عزيزتي، اسمعينا من الراديو.
اوكي.
Okay.
What was the question?
The caller, she said 2 years ago she was involved in a car accident. She did everything what we just said, police report, everything. She has a lawyer, and it's been 2 years and it's not resolved. It's not settled yet. Not resolved yet. And she is still wondering how long is going to take.
That's a great question. I mean, it varies, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
So to apologize, the reason I hung up the phone is because technically we're not allowed to talk to anyone that's represented. So if she ever wants to talk to us directly, she'd actually have to terminate her lawyer and then give us a call.
Okay.
But I will go over a question that I get all the time is how long cases take.
Yes. أول شيء نعتذر من الأخت بأنه إحنا لازم نسد التليفون لأنه قانونيا ما يصير نحكي وياك اذا انت عندك محامي، لذلك سدينا التليفون. واذا تريدين تاخذين يعني من عندنا استشاره لازم المحامي اللي عندك
ينطيك
لا بانه توقفين مالت العلاقه وياه وتخابرينه واحنا ناخذ القضيه.
She can certainly consult. We just can't give legal advice. You know, she can certainly consult with an attorney at any time, of course. But we can't give legal advice.
So if she ever does that and she wants to come in, she's more than welcome. Our phone number is 248-702-6641. And we'll be able to talk to her at that point. But a question I get all the time is how long cases take.
Yes.
And I can, you know, I'm kind of a big numbers guy, and I go through all the analytics for the office and stuff like that. I would say from the date of the car accident, through the time that you should be getting your check in your hand, should be right around the time that she's at right now. So I would say 2 years should be the mark that she should be finishing her case.
Yeah, that's about an average. But some cases do take longer or shorter.
But some cases take, you know, shorter than that. I mean, we've had some cases settle in a few months.
Yeah.
So I would say she's definitely at the long point of her case. But
and 2 years ago, sorry to interrupt, but probably also there was still COVID in and out. And
we kind of got through the COVID batches.
يعني
I don't think that's really an issue anymore.
أختنا العزيزة تقدرين تخابرين على 248-702-6641 248-702-6641 وتسألين على تمارة
بالاستشارة.
بس
عادة
وبلاش
عادة القضية كشيء كمعدل، مو يعني كل قضية شكل. بس المعدل هي سنتين وشوية.
نعم.
المعدل.
بعض
فهي
الأحيان
بعض الأحيان أقل
هواية.
مرات قبل السنة نقدر نسويها، مرات
نعم.
خلال كم شهر نقدر نخلصها.
نعم.
ومرات
تبقى.
سنتين ونص،
نعم.
لو مثلا سنة وثلاث أشهر.
نعم.
فهي تقريبا على النهاية، بس احنا هاي طبعا مو قانونيا بدنا نعطيها
نعم.
هاي، بس بدنا نقول شنو المعدل.
I'm just giving averages.
Yes,
We'd have to look at the case and tell you, you know, what we think and how long it would take.
لازم نشوف القضية حتى نعرف إيش قد هيك قضية تطول.
نعم.
Sure. Yeah.
طبعا شكرا للاتصال.
No, thank you for the question. We appreciate it for sure.
Yeah, we love it. Any other callers, feel free.
أي واحد يحب يخابر يقدر يتصل بينا على 586-825-2015. أي واحد عنده سؤال، عنده استفسار، عنده قضية، عنده شغلة يحب أنه يعرضها، السادة المحامين موجودين ويانا، فمستعدين يجاوبوكم. Yes.
So I was just going to say, we were talking about the pictures, videos, the police report, and one thing I don't know if we specifically mentioned was, obviously you're going to want to make that police report. The police make the report at the scene. You're not going to see that right away.
Yes.
Okay.
Good point, John.
But eventually that police report, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, it's going to be ready, and you can obtain a copy of that police report. You can actually go to the police station and ask them for a copy. You can order it online nowadays, or of course your attorney can pull it up in moments.
And it's always 100% accurate. Is that what you're going to say?
Yeah, not exactly.
It's always true.
No, in fact,
I've never had an issue with any police report ever.
yeah, I don't believe you.
We just had one yesterday.
Yeah, so of course Lawrence is making a joke here, but I mean, honestly, probably almost half of police reports have some kind of error on them. Now, it could be a minor error like they miswrote a date of birth, or it could be a minor error like they spelled a name wrong, or but if they get the numbers wrong on a plate or a VIN or something like that, those are actually serious errors. Yes. And the bigger, but also the other big problems are they sometimes just mix up who's in what vehicle. I mean, we have seen mistakes all across the board. And listen, I'm not trying to, put down the police on this. They've got to rush around to
absolutely not.
Many different scenes, and they don't know who these people are. And they're humans. Humans make mistakes.
For all that they're doing, they actually do
of course.
a good job.
Yeah.
And sometimes also, especially for us, the language barrier is number one.
And sometimes there's a language barrier.
Yes.
Absolutely. That's a good point.
That's why a lot of times they put a client at fault because they can't explain how the accident happened. So they have one person that's speaking English, the other person speaking Arabic.
فدائما نقول لهم اتصلوا بالمحامي لورنس قاجي، يحجون عربي، يحجون انجليزي، يحجون كلداني. خابروهم على 248-702-6641.
And again, it's not their fault, right? I mean, you have someone that's giving you a story, someone that you can't understand. What are you supposed to do with that?
Exactly. Of course. And so my point here, though, is when you get the police report, whenever that may be, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, whether you get it at your attorney's office, I highly recommend you look at it, and you look at it closely, because when there are mistakes, it's not the end of the world. If you act quickly, you can actually just go into the police station and say,
right away,
guys, you made a mistake.
Good.
And you know what? If you do it quickly, right? If you do it within, a couple of weeks, the police officer might even remember. He might even remember you and say, oh, you know what? I apologize. Let me quick correct it.
But not after that.
Now, if you wait 6 months, a year down the road, he's not going to remember you.
You will forget everything.
And what happens oftentimes is we get a call 6 months after the accident. We go, they don't have the police report at the time, so we get it for them.
Right.
And we go over and they say, no, that's not how the accident happened. So now you go back 6 months later, it's going to be a lot harder to change.
Yeah, and the police might. Right, and sorry to interrupt. And the police may not even do an amendment at that point. They may say, no, you know what? Look, this is what it is. We're not going to change it at this point. And sometimes they'll do it if you've got witnesses and they call the witnesses and everyone agrees. But
the point is to get it right away. And
get it right away.
Yeah,
you want to get it right away.
واحدة من الأشياء الجدا مهمة مثل ما قلنا مو بس تسوي تقرير الشرطة وراء الأسبوع 5 أيام أو أسبوعين كلش بالأكثر. هاي ما عدا إذا كان أكو حادث بها وفاة يصير أكثر طول. التقرير الشرطة يكون حاضر، تقدر تأخذه عن طريق الإنترنت أو تروح للشرطة أنت نفسك وتسحبه. نطلب من يعني المستمعين والمشاهدين بأنه يشوفوا للتقرير جدا يعني بطريقة جدا يدققوا يعني بطريقة مهمة جدا
حتى لا يطلع غلط.
يا يوم صار الحادث، ساعة بيش صار الحادث، وين صار الحادث، عنوانك، اسمك، ميلادك، أهم شيء رقم السيارات، إذا أكو أي غلط برقم السيارات كل شيء يعني كله غلط. الشرطة هم يعني هو هم يعني إنسان معرض للخطأ. مثل ما قلنا أكبر شيء هو اللغة اللي إذا ما تعرف تحكي إنجليزي زين شلون راح توصل فكرتك شلون صار الحادث للشرطي. لذلك أكثر شيء تشوف مع الأسف الصفحة اللي هو إنجليزي شرح له فتشي ما أنت ما عرفت بالضبط وأنت ما تعرف تشرح له صحيح، يأخذ هو الصفحة مالته وانتهى وتمشي شو اسمه.
طبعا احنا ما باقي لنا كم دقيقة نريد يحكي لنا القصة.
So just last comment about this. So if you come to us early enough, we can actually help you pull the police report and make sure it's accurate.
Okay. إذا تجي للمكتب من وراء الحادث مباشرة نقدر نسحب التقرير ونشوف لك إياه حتى تقدر إذا بأخطاء نقدر نصلحها.
You don't want to wait 6 months to a year.
لأنه وراء 6 أشهر سنة ما يسووها لأنه بعد هم ما يتذكرون.
Right. What's yours? So I mean I just had towards the end of the year we had we settled a case for you know this case I'm talking about tomorrow for a young man and you know it's you know our clients go through a lot. They go through a lot from the accident and this poor guy was very injured from the accident and you know they go through a lot and he went through a lot of medical treatment and we finally got a full policy settlement. You know it was $250,000. And you know, I was part of the call that, you know, letting him know that we got him the full 250,000. And it's just kind of one of those things that makes you feel good about what you do and the reason why you do it. You know, we do a lot of things during the normal day and sometimes you lose sight about, you know, why I even started this, why am I doing this?
Can I add one thing?
Yes.
This particular case, John and me.
Yes, John. You did go to the hospital.
We went together to the hospital.
Yeah.
There was no information about anything. We took that case blind.
Yep.
There was nothing. That was zero. And we end up with 250. I was very happy for him.
Yeah.
So.
And you know he's using the money to buy a house and take care of his family and
he was happy.
He was very happy.
He was living on he didn't have a place to live.
Yeah.
حلو.
Yes.
طبعا هذه كلها جهود هي.
طبعا.
وإنسان لما يشتغل بضمير. تفرق.
Yes.
And translate that story.
Yes. القصة بأنه هو شاب بعد بين 20 و30 رحنا أنا وجامع صار الحادث للمستشفى مكسر كله بالحادث. وقع ويانا كل شيء صفر ماكو ما نعرف أي شيء عن الحادث ولا لا شرطة لا كل شيء ماكو. نهاية هاي السنة حصلنا له 250,000 ربع مليون.
And that was a full policy. We could have got more if he had more. If there was more.
بالضبط هاي الباليسي الأعلى شيء أخذناها.
لو عنده كان
لو أكو كان بعد كان أخذنا بعد أكثر.
فهسه نصيحة شنو هي إنه واحد يسوي باليسي؟
اختار أعلى الأرقام بالضبط. يس إلك واللي عليك. يعني choose the best for you and for the other.
For the others.
To save yourself. Yes.
شنو نصائحكم? What's your advice now for the end of this topic?
So we actually didn't finish.
Surprise. We didn't get close. But the other thing
you
is,
have something to say?
Well, there's one final comment, and we could talk more about this. But you know, when the time we've got, I mean, it's also important to go to the hospital right away, right? I mean, if
you're injured,
if you're injured, right? You know, I'm talking about getting photos and videos and police reports and all that. That's all fine and good. But if you're injured and you can't do that, get somebody else to do that. You go get treatment, right? Go to the hospital. Get yourself taken care of. I mean, if you're bleeding all over the place,
I mean, because at the end
you
of the
shouldn't
day,
be walking around.
the most important thing is your health, right?
Right.
It doesn't matter
Yeah.
money or
Right,
anything like
right,
that. The most
right.
important thing is your health.
أهم شيء.
So first thing to take
اهم
care of.
شيء الصحه. فاذا انت بحادث سياره واحنا صح قلنا اخذ صور واخذ شيء، بس اول شيء تاخذ تعتني بنفسك. اذا تحتاج تروح للمستشفى
Right away.
رأسا تروح للمستشفى، وخلي غير احد ياخذ الصور، لو غير احد ياخذ اي معلومات.
صحيح.
والشغله المهمه جدا ورا الحادث اتصل بمحامي، لا تاخذ الامور على عاتقك.
Call. It's always free.
It's
Give us a
always
call.
free.
Yeah.
Consultation free.
What's
نقدر
your
نساعدك.
number?
248-702-6641.
Give us a call.
Do you know the number?
Yeah, I've had the same number since the day I opened, so I have it
Okay, what
kind of
about you? You
memorized.
know the number?
Yeah.
I'm going to go with 248-702-6641.
Oh, that's
You know
that's
what
the
my
number?
I think so.
we had an office in Sterling Heights a while back. I still remember that number.
I know because you are smart. طبعا
You know, it's funny. The last remark, a old client of mine from 5 years ago called
Yes.
that number, and then they finally got a hold of me. They said,
or they
"Hey,
can send it to you.
just so you know, your old phone number is not working." I said, "What?" I had no idea. It's funny.
طبعا شكرا جزيلا. Thank you very much, Mr. قاجي, and thank you, Mr. John.
Thank you.
تشكرين
أهلا
ستة
وسهلا.
مارا على كل جهودك طبعا الحلوة. we hope you the best year. This
Thank you.
year better than last year and other years.
That's all we can wish for.
Previous years, yeah.
If every year's better than the last, we're in good shape.
You are
Yes.
and you will be.
ان شاء الله.
Thank you. Hope the same for you.
مستمعينا الأكارم، مشاهدينا الأعزاء، كنا وإياكم مع برنامج المحامي لورنس قاجي، اللي على أساس نسوي له اسم لحد الآن ما سوينا له اسم، فراح نسوي له اسم. You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
فشكرا جزيلا مستمعينا الأكارم.